This episode brought to you by Nakatomi Corporation. Leaders in, oil, bonds, used panty vending machines, I don't know. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. We're watching Die Hard, and you're listening to Miscast Commentary.
You're listening to Miscast Commentary. When two guys have seen way too many movies and have way too much time on their hands.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Hey everybody, Merry Christmas, how you doing, and welcome to Miscast Commentary. I am Joe Findlay, and with me today we have a special guest, my lovely wife, Carrie.
Good day, everyone.
She's nailing it. All right, we have promised you a good Christmas movie, and we delivered a good Christmas movie. If you're going to argue with me that this movie, Die Hard, is not a Christmas movie, then you don't know when this movie takes place. It takes place on Christmas. It's a Christmas party. Deal with it. It's not even a holiday party. This is all old school where they're allowed to be racist and shit, so it's all good.
I think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's right. See? So, we're going to get this one going because we don't want to stay up too late tonight. So we're just going to get this started and press play. So right off the bat, we see that we've got 20th Century Fox, now a Disney Corporation. Ha ha ha, suckers. Disney. Yes. Oh, I'm always the one, especially when Todd's not here. I'm always the one to smack the table. Apologies all. So start right off the bat. Die Hard is based on a sequel novel that was called, and I got the information right down here. It's called Nothing Lasts Forever. It's the sequel to the movie the book The Detective. They did make a movie, The Detective, as well, and it starred Frank Sinatra. And the intention originally, when they were going to do this, was to make a like further out sequel that was going to feature Frank Sinatra. Then as they got into writing and doing all sorts of other things and people buying the rights and doing this and that and the other thing, and he ended up being out of it. And what's it called? Like Clint Eastwood was actually the first person to purchase the rights to the book. And so he was an early adopter who was going to be in it, and then they wanted all the action heroes after that. John McTiernan, who directed this, had just recently did Predator, so he wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then they started just going through the list, right? They went to Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford. And
Arnold Schwarzenegger would have been a terrible idea.
No, and that's true, and they actually, when Arnold Schwarzenegger was involved, and we talked about this during Commando, that was actually they were going to basically take a sequel to a different story and then turn it into a sequel to a different movie. It was going to be the sequel to Commando. And so it was going to be that same character. And in the book, his daughter gets kidnapped at this party instead of his wife. And so it was going to be Alyssa Milano in trouble again, I guess. But, so once they've decided not to go the Schwarzenegger route, and they went through a few of the big action heroes, they decided to make it kind of a regular average Joe, and then they are watching Moonlighting one day, and they see Bruce Willis, and this gets to be his big breakout hit as a result. So,
Alan Rickman.
I know. Poor Alan Rickman. This is going to make me sad. This weekend, we're releasing 2 movies that heavily feature Alan Rickman, and I'm just going to be bummed out. So maybe I really screwed up this Christmas. But yeah, we'll get more into Alan Rickman when he shows up. But so a lot of things with the book. A lot of the names, a lot of the characters are directly out of the book. They actually, surprisingly, considering how much they changed, they stayed very loyal to the book. The name Gennaro exists in that book. The names Gruber, like all the last names were the same, and then the henchman Carl was the same. The cop's name is Al Powell. Like, everything's there. It's just that they changed it around a little bit. This guy here that we are talking to, Harry, is Hart Bochner. He was born in Toronto. And funny enough, he's the son of Lloyd Bochner, who was in the original movie The Detective with Frank Sinatra.
I recognize the name Lloyd Bochner.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like I'm like it's supposed to be like a musician, like a classical musician or something like that. I don't know.
Like Baz Luhrmann.
But yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like he was meant to be one thing and one thing only. So, yeah, Bruce Willis, he was paid $5 million to do this movie, which at the time was fairly unprecedented. They hadn't really, excuse me, they hadn't really, they weren't paying people into the high millions at this point yet. Like, you'd get maybe $2 million for a role if you were a big deal. I don't really know why he got so much, considering everything I've read said he was like the 30th choice. Like, everybody got this thing before him. Nick Nolte was the first person to officially turn down the role. And like I said, all the other guys who all... Basically, if you think about the cast of The Expendables, it's all of them. Mel Gibson was offered it. Like I said, Harrison Ford, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They said Kurt Russell turned it down. All sorts of people. Michael Madsen turned it down. Like, it was, they went through the list. So, Bonnie Bedelia here. She, something I just learned about her, actually. She is Macaulay Culkin's aunt. Macaulay Culkin's aunt. Not McCulkin. It flows so well. Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin's aunt.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, yeah, no, I got it. We're doing fine. But yeah, she is, her full name was Bonnie Bedelia Culkin. And so I was instantly like, oh, that's interesting.
Is that Rod Stewart behind him?
That's probably... No, it looks like Tony Bennett there. Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna take a big crap. I was on a plane. California. Oh, man. I love, anybody who hasn't seen it needs to check out from the Ben Stiller show. They did a thing about this where it was like the 20th sequel to the movie, and they hit like all of the points from this movie and the second movie especially, and then just like the fact that it happens on Christmas, but this time they're in a grocery store, but he's just did such a hilarious impression on the whole thing. Argyle. The only other person I've ever heard named Argyle in a movie was Brian Cox in Braveheart.
I don't remember that movie very well.
Oh, Braveheart's the best. You get to see a bunch of Scottish dudes flash their penises.
They have CDs.
Yes.
And there's a telephone.
At the time, like, this would have been...
VHS!
I know, this would have been super early TV, or like a CD as well. I mean, that was like, what, mid to late 80s it started? And this movie was 88.
Yeah.
So, we've talked about John McTiernan recently because we did Predator, but I'll just mention him again. He's anybody who doesn't know the things he did. He's done Hunt for Red October, Medicine Man, Thomas Crown Affair. Recently spent some time in jail for spying on some producers. I really don't I have no follow up to that still. I kept trying to look into what happened other than the fact that, yeah, he spied on that producer from like Rollerball or whatever it was. And, nothing. Or Murderball. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, he just spied on the dude, went to jail, and I still haven't found anything. And he still has a project that's in development on IMDb, like it's in the pre-production stage, and I have heard nothing about that. Hasn't advanced either. Again, another person we've talked about is Steven D'Souza, who wrote Commando, which is, again, we talked about that. He wrote 48 Hours, The Running Man. He wrote and directed Street Fighter, so, his career went amazing. We just saw there, Jan de Bont is the cinematographer. A lot of tie-ins to this one, because I've mentioned a lot of these people before in the other movies. So Jan de Bont directed Speed, which we recently did. And so he was the cinematographer this, Hunt for Red October with John McTiernan, Black Rain, Flatliners, The Lethal Weapon 3. He directed Speed 1 and 2. He directed Twister. And then kind of nothing after that. Like, he didn't do a lot of anything. He did Lara Croft, The Cradle of Life or whatever, so wasn't the best. But, yeah, he actually got some of his ideas for Speed while doing this movie. Like, he was recommended for Speed by John McTiernan to do Speed. And actually gained a lot of his ideas while just shooting this movie. I like, if you watch all the Die Hard movies, you're basically in the exact same spot with his couple every single time. They're constantly broken up. And it's like, I don't even remember. I think I saw Live Free or Die Hard once, and I never watched A Good Day to Die Hard. It just looked too terrible, but I have no idea what happened to Bonnie Bedelia at that point. If they just, did they just kill her off, or did they just say, yeah, we're officially divorced and she's somewhere else?
Yeah, I think in one of them, they said that they were officially done, and she was no longer in the series from that point on.
Yeah, she wasn't in part 3, but they mention her a lot, and they just basically said that he was in New York and she was in LA, and they just hadn't spoken in 2 years because he never called her back after they fought on the phone.
Right, and at the end of that one, doesn't he call her after a helicopter or something?
Yeah, he said, well, he gets the quarter to go make a phone call or whatever. Yeah, that's right.
Payphones. Yeah. Payphones.
Not even close. Look at how high tech this screen is. It's almost like it's from Tron. Uh-oh. She's not in there. Would you go back to your maiden name if we split up? Temporarily, as it basically is in this?
Not really.
Yeah, your
name.
Your last
I think
name's
I would
not
just stick
cool
with.
enough.
I would stick with the Finley name.
Finley's a great name. Spells find lay. So if you're on the rebound, it's already a good start.
Mainly because we have children.
What?
We have children.
Forget about it. Your maiden name's Buckle, though. That's why you're not going back. Admit it.
Yeah, but it's not spelt the same.
No, it's not spelt the same, but it's still... But what's your favorite? You used to get a lot of really good incorrect pronunciations or spellings and...
My favorite one had to have been when I received something from the government. I believe it was OSAP or something like that.
Yeah.
And it came to me Bucknerelli.
Yeah,
they added 5 letters to my name.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And I all I picture is legally you don't really have to pay then, do you? It's just...
Yeah, unfortunately I don't think it was a bill.
No. Oh, it was just a threat of a bill. No. Let me turn that way too down. There we go. So I don't really know if the Argyle character existed in the book, but I do know that the cop character, so Reginald Vell Johnson, that we're going to see in a little bit, he in the book was a lot younger character. He was in his early 20s, and he was a cop. So I don't know if they got him so they'd still have a young guy, or if there's a character who existed or not. All my research, I couldn't figure that out. If they just wanted somebody young for some reason. Argyle's gonna bring in the 14 to 21 group to see Die Hard. He was so awesome then. Now I hear he's just such a dick.
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, heard some stories. They would, out of respect, he refused to name him, but Kevin Smith, who shot Cop Out, which starred, was it Cop Out? Yeah, which starred him and Tracy Morgan. He said he was so difficult and he had all these kind of problems and it just wasn't working out, and then they had to do all these reshoots. And they were like, yeah, we didn't like these scenes. The executives were like, we didn't like these scenes. And he's like, but you know why those scenes are the way they are. He's like, one of those guys did not want to be there. And so I don't know if it was just he was pouting because he wasn't in a cool thing or whatever. But even in, if you watch Expendables, he barely walks through a door. He just kind of shows up and he's like, I'm not taking another step. He's like, I gotta say my lines. I'm getting on a helicopter and getting the hell out of here. Offices. Oh. The 80s when doing blow on your desk was just one of those rad things you did. And it was rad because it was the 80s.
The 80s, yes.
80s. Smacking secretaries on the ass was just on the down slope.
It was the era of Harvey Weinstein?
It's when it started, yeah. So, has Harvey Weinstein ever got to you?
Thankfully, no.
Ugh. I don't want to know. It's bad enough you're with me. See, right now I am in a position of power as the executive producer of the show you were a guest host on. So, prepare to watch me masturbate into a plant later. Merry Christmas.
I'm just going to go to bed. You can do whatever you want out here.
We don't even have a plant. Oh, I've got a fake tree. Uh-oh.
Oh, there's the lock eyes.
Oh.
They love each other.
I love her. She's another one. She's got a crazy career too. She actually started acting when she was 3. And while she's got like hundreds of credits, but some of her more known ones, she was in Needful Things, the Stephen King movie there. She was in the TV show Parenthood.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then she's currently on the show Designated Survivor, which I can't believe is a show, but I'm happy that she's working, so I mean, you know, I don't have to watch it, so what do I care? Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's making me watch that. And just cause Kiefer Sutherland's Canadian doesn't mean that we're tuning in. Ugh. God awful. Well, there was a McDonald's in the background. But they didn't show the whole arch. I always wonder if those are on purpose, if they don't want to show a logo or something like that, because all they have to do is cover up the logo in part of a way, and I don't know if that's on purpose that it was covered a little bit, like if it was shot from just the angle so it would be covered a little bit, or if it's just it's there because you can't make people take down their signs. I like that he's showering up in her bathroom, in like her work bathroom.
She has a spare bedroom for him. She still loves him.
Oh, this is how it goes. I remember when we were falling in love and you were like, hey, want to sleep in separate rooms?
I did offer that because you snore.
I didn't snore then.
It's true.
It's true. Now it's a separate bedroom thing. It's only when we go to key parties and stuff like that. Are key parties still a thing?
I don't really know.
There's probably a more app-based way of doing it.
I was trying to think of something app-based. A cell phone party.
We're going on. I'm going on Google Play later, and I'm gonna find a weird swinger app out there. And it's like everybody links onto it, and then they hit a button, and they just get matched up. Oh, look at that little patch of chest hair up there. As I'm a very hairy guy, I've got chest hair all over. I can never conceive of weird little tufts of hair and stuff like that. But I feel for Bruce Willis there, because I mean, he definitely didn't turn down this role specifically, so because I mean, it was going to be good for his career, and he knew that. But he was shooting Moonlighting at the exact same time. So,
oh yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a lot of people who have done that. I've talked about before. Robert Englund was shooting a TV show the same time he was shooting Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and he was literally 24 hours going back and forth. Michael J. Fox did the similar thing on Back to the Future. I mean, it just must be exhausting, but it was to the point where he was so broken down that where they had to boost up everybody else's character and give them more meat, so he didn't have to be on screen every second of the day. So, like, the guys like Harry that we saw earlier, the bad guys, your Argyle, and all these other people have been given some more scenes to themselves, so he could just, like, not be on the call sheet every second of every day.
That would be exhausting.
Oh my God.
I couldn't even imagine.
I mean, a movie shoot is long and exhausting enough. It's like 16 hours, right? So, well, upwards of 16, depending on what you're doing. Because, I mean, if you're doing like a day shoot or something like that, it's got to be, you know, in that peak portion of the day. But then you've got all the stuff before makeup and all this kind of stuff. So it's, I couldn't imagine. I hear some of the stories when I listen to like, cast commentaries or something like that, like in the Two Towers, they did something like 3 months of night shoots, so just being on like super night shift for every day for months at a time.
Oh, dead.
I feel like that security guard should have been a little alert of two people just marching in that he might not recognize like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
They were casual, and I know there's a party going on, but you would think that, like, he's like, I don't know these two guys, and they're being very loud and brazen, or at least the one guy is.
At the very least, watch them walking in. Like, he just kind of went back to his work, sitting on the desk there, or his crossword, or whatever it was he was doing.
Security guards. They can't protect from terrorists. Oh, hockey
Once again, something strange is happening.
Yeah. Oh. Nice. What was that reach? Must hit button.
He was mannequin.
Oh, yeah.
Mannequin. What's that word?
Mannequin?
Mannequining.
He's mannequinning. Oh my god.
I can't talk.
We're gonna be great. Carrie has 2 drinks on the table in front of her, and I won't tell you what's in them, but only one of them's tea. Oh, there's my favorite Asian in the background.
But I also have a cold.
Yeah, that's true.
So, the one's helping the cold.
Yes, yeah, the tea.
And then the other one's helping the cold.
The other one's helping our marriage during a podcast. So this guy here, that was Clarence Gilliard Jr., our local hacker, Theo. He was in stuff like Chips. He was in Top Gun, if you ever go looking for him. He's one of the pilots. He's in The Karate Kid 2 he's like a random GI. I don't even know.
I recognize him from something. I'm not entirely sure what it is.
Probably this. He was also in Walker, Texas Ranger.
That's what I recognize him from. My parents watched that.
Ugh,
I used to have to watch that.
Wonderful taste in entertainment. Your parents or any parents have.
Yeah.
Right, because that was kind of my dad's jam. The only reason I ever liked Walker, Texas Ranger was the Conan O'Brien Walker, Texas Ranger lever, where they would he'd pull a lever and it would just show the most ridiculous scene from a thing. Showed like a kid on the top of this high bookshelf and he's like, jump, I'll catch you. And the kid jumped and then landed on his face next to him and stuff. And then there was a scene with Haley Joel Osment. It was like one of his first ever roles. And he's like, thanks, Walker. I have AIDS. It's fantastic. Oh, see, these guys have a plan. Oh, there he is, Alan Rickman, a man who in January of 2016 passed away.
It was such a sad day. I was so sad when he died.
That one, not a lot of them really get to me, but he got to me because he has been he's always just been around. And I mean, this actually, believe it or not, was his first movie.
Really?
Yeah, he was cast in this movie 2 days into being in Hollywood.
Wow.
And he almost didn't do it because he didn't want his very first American role to be
really, that's not the plushest of carpets to be doing that with your feet.
Yeah, but he's like a gross New Yorker. He's probably used to doing it on rats.
We're close enough to the 70s. They might have some shag carpeting or something.
It's not close enough. It's almost the 90s.
It's true.
We're close enough to the 70s in that billions of years have passed. Remember when wallet-sized photos fit in wallets?
Yeah, what happened to wallet-sized photos? Why are they so big now?
We're really talking old today, aren't we?
That's because we are old, honey.
Did you ever notice the wallet-sized photos are the size of larger wallets than we're used to?
That's because we're old enough to remember things like payphones. And when CDs came out, and VHS, and Atari.
Well, I don't remember when VHS came out. That predates me by a little bit, I think. I think that was the late 70s.
Yeah, but we remember watching VHS and having to Be Kind Rewind from Blockbuster.
Yeah, I had Beta. We actually had that stuff. We had the tapes up until fairly recently, maybe 10 years ago or something like that. I would have loved to have kept those, found an old Beta machine and watched. Because, my parents, they recorded all the movies with, what was it? They recorded all the movies with, the commercials in and stuff, so you could watch all those, old 80s commercials, the old Time to Make the Donuts and stuff like that. That must have been a really weird shoot for the guy who plays Argyle. He's just literally, he's got a scene with a dude at the beginning, a scene with him at the end, and then in the middle, it's just him. It had to have been 2 days tops worth of shooting for him. Yeah. So I guess that'd be all right, because, he's all over this movie, right? It's usually a short shoot like that, you're in a scene. Oh, so many machine guns. Look at how badass he looks right from the start. Snape, baby. Ugh. The voice of a devil? I don't know, but it's just an amazing voice. But he's got actually some movies I didn't know he was in. He was in Quigley Down Under.
Okay.
Which, fine, okay, great. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I did know, that was a great one he was in. Bob Roberts, Sense and Sensibility, he was in Dogma, Galaxy Quest, obviously the Harry Potter series. If anybody doesn't know that, then I don't know what to tell you. Oh, hey, I forgot there were boobs in this. I knew there was cocaine, but I forgot about boobs. High five for boobs, babe. Yes, my wife high-fived me for boobs.
I have boobs.
She does. She does. Oh, we just got the 14-year-old listeners in. And there's boobs on the other side. Oh, okay. Turn it off. He's done.
You sound like a 14-year-old boy.
I know, it feels good. But yeah, anyway, so Alan Rickman also in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Sweeney Todd, Alice in Wonderland, and like just such a... He didn't even need to be... Like of all of his big roles, I mean, it's really this that he's most well known for on a wider scale, and then Harry Potter from the real pop culture nerds and stuff like that. That's where he's best known. But just those two things alone make him a legend, right? And then the fact that he died young just makes it that much more. But I mean, just heartbroken. I'm really just glad that he managed to finish Harry Potter before that all went away.
Yeah.
Because if they would have had to recast him or something like that, because there's no not having him.
Exactly.
You can't just go, oh, well, I'll just give these lines to some other teacher or something like that. I'm like, no, you pretty much blew it. He's very calm. They said he had a very hard time with the guns and stuff like that. He was a big flincher. And whenever he fired a weapon specifically, like you'll notice, and as we're watching the movie, we'll have to pay attention for it. But apparently they have to like really quickly cut away because he flinches when he fires, every time he fires the weapon. So it'll cut to like a reaction shot or something like that.
I would totally flinch.
Oh, me too. I was the kid who had to do retakes for school photos every year because I couldn't keep my eyes open just from the flash. So to have that loud bang right next to me would probably send me off every single time. The Nakatomi Tower that they're in right now is actually the 20th Century Fox headquarters, and I guess it's become such a big like destination when people go out there that like you're now no longer allowed to like go up to it and take photos and stuff like that. So they've got like a keep a distance away kind of deal because otherwise they would just be swarmed with people. It's like Nakatomi Tower and Leaning Tower of Pisa. I think it would have been hilarious. Oh, yeah. It would have been hilarious if he just kept going up to the wrong Asian. Just going, you're him. No, you're him. Although technically, I guess that is what he's doing. Oh, so good. That voice. I like, if you are blessed with a voice like that, you're pretty much set.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because you can get any form of voice job you want in the world. Like, even if you were just doing commercials for the rest of your life. Hello, buy mattresses. Like you would still, it's a guarantee that you're in. Having a less interesting voice, you know, you have to self-publish a podcast and hope for the best. The German bad guys, I think they said only 2 or 3 of them out of the 12 were actually German. And even of those Germans, they spoke like broken German because they lived in the States or somewhere else their whole life. So, ironically, the most German person in this movie is Bruce Willis. He was born in Germany to an American father and a German mother.
Really?
So he is like half... a true half-blood. He is the half-blood prince. We did it again. High five. There's going to be so many high fives in this thing. Christmas, folks. We're in the giving spirit, and we're giving high fives. That would be an amazing, like, sculpture thing, like a model to have. Actually, if you get the Die Hard, I don't know if it's the box set or if it's like a special edition of this particular movie, but it's the Nakatomi Towers with the discs all in it.
That's cool.
I would love that, but my problem with those is because we have just a DVD shelf, right, with our DVDs and Blu-rays and all that stuff on it. But then when you get one of those in, it becomes a thing where you've got it's like, oh, I have all my movies over here except that one because it's in a statue. They had the Alien quadrilogy was in that too. It was in a giant alien head where you pulled the top off of it. And I was like, well, that's all well and good, but where are you putting it? Because it's not going with your other movies. And I'm very anal about that. So.
Why does the other guy have questions for him?
Well, everybody, I don't know. Everybody's inquisitive. Yeah. They're quizzical folk. Sam Neill actually turned down the role of Hans Gruber in this.
I feel like Sam Neill would have been quite young at the time.
No, he's fairly old. I actually think he's older than Alan Rickman.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like look at him. He's like, I don't know. Last time I've seen him, other than in Thor. Spoiler alert to those who haven't seen Thor. He plays an actor who plays Odin in a play on Asgard. Mm-hmm. And then the two. I'm saying it all right now. It's been a few weeks now, and Star Wars is out, so you're not going to see Thor now. But and then the other two actors were obviously Matt Damon. Yeah,
that was crazy. That caught me off guard.
That was the one that you got the actual reaction from, and then the one who played Thor was actually Chris Hemsworth's brother Luke.
Yeah, I did know that actually.
I was kind of bummed. Like, as good as it was to have Matt Damon there, it would have been funny to have both of the Hemsworth brothers there. But and I bet you that's probably what they were going to try for. But then, because Luke Hemsworth is obviously available and Liam probably isn't. So he's out there still trying to get that next Independence Day movie made. It's like, I got to catch up to my brother in box office. God, that must have been so fun back when he was doing Hunger Games and Chris Hemsworth had just started in Thor, and they're like, so how's your box office? Oh, I made, $900 million. How about you? $700 million. Haha, you suck. Luke, what'd you do? I got a commercial, He was on, what was it, Neighbors?
Let's take the silencer off and well, that'll really get you scared.
Yeah, well, he's like, now he's saying, I don't mind everybody knowing that I'm going to kill you. He's got that's almost a Cosby sweater. Is like, did we only let black people dress a certain way on TV? It's like, yeah, you're going to be on, but you're not going to outcool us. We're going to put you in clothes that no human would wear. Big weird wool sweaters. So many.
He's going to count to 3, honey.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's just a good threat. A lot of people turned this down and just didn't like the script, and it blows me away. I love this movie.
It's a great movie.
I love this movie, and it's so good. He tried his best. Oh. That's good bad guy stuff, too. Nice. That guy, I feel like they, made that German in a lab. They're like, we need mega German, so just get him. He wasn't in a lot of movies, unfortunately, because he passed away in, I think it was 95. Let me look it up. I've got it here. That's Alexander Gordunov, and he was in Witness, and he was in Money Pit, but yeah, 45 he died. And so that was in 1995. So that's sad, because, I feel like he could have been terrifying in other movies.
Definitely.
But unfortunately, that's all he can be, is terrifying in other movies.
He's got a charming personality.
I love him. He didn't bring him for the charming personality, which means he technically may not have them. Buildings like that are probably very soundproof as it is.
I was going to say, they're 33 floors up. How's he going to hear that?
Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to hear anything from the outside coming in, so you're definitely not hearing it from the inside coming out. And then, naturally, again, a little bit of 80s movie racism. He's listening to music really loud. Trying to get his girl. Hans?
They're on the roof.
I like that he says Hans were on the roof, and then it cuts to a picture of the world's most Asian man. Who he looks like he is what's his face? Genghis Khan. Sorry, Genghis Khan. Apparently that's how it's pronounced now. Like GIF and GIF. Oh, he is the man. Actually, I'm pretty sure he played Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I was going to say Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right?
I'm fairly certain it was him, but again, I might just be a racist. Oh, so many cool things. I'll see. This is what buildings are missing now that they're trying to be like energy efficient and stuff like that. Secret rooms, giant safes. I can just walk into like my like CEO's area because he doesn't even have an actual office. We keep everything open concept. He's got like a half wall, but like I can go in there. Hey, I'll say it right now. People, my bosses are listening to this. Before he moved into that building, I peed in the bathroom. Actually, it wasn't him when it was his office. It was a different guy. But I'm just saying, I peed in his bathroom because guess what? No, none of you were there. I was. So for a little while, I was the CEO of that company.
I'm currently unemployed, so I've got no work stuff to talk about.
Nice.
Sorry, babe.
That's fine.
Oh, there's a fire on the 32nd floor.
Nice. He looks so much like Huey Lewis to me.
Yes, he does.
Like, I just, like, every single time he's, like, playing, like, this, like, mega German, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis, oh my god, it's going to be a tough night. That looks like Joe Pantoliano up there, except, like, a giant version of him. I don't know who he looks like, but he's got weird facial features. I don't think he's, like, a real person. That's what that's kind of like a cell phone back then.
Yeah. Yes.
I forgot. Like, it is a long time before you see Reginald Vel Johnson actually show up in this movie.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because he's such a big character in this movie that...
Yeah, like, he's, like, top 5 leads. Top 5 lead, right? Woo! He's trying his best. The first thing I would have done, though, I would have been smart enough to not... Like, I don't really know what he thought the fire department was going to do. Like, I
think it was a matter of getting the emergency services there, though.
No, but it just set off a fire alarm, and only the fire department was coming.
Yeah, but that would have brought emergency services, and, you know...
Oh, but that's why I'm saying he was looking out the window. He saw only the fire trucks coming, and then the fire trucks all turned around because the alarm went off. I don't think anybody else was coming.
I know, but the firemen could have gotten the police there. That's what I'm saying. He was just trying to get emergency services there.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, like, what was his plan? They were going to discover the terrorists, and then... Actually, I shouldn't even say terrorists, because John McTiernan didn't really want these guys to be considered terrorists in it, because they wanted, like, he deemed it too grim for like a summer blockbuster. So he wanted to make it very clear that they were stealing something, that they're thieves, not terrorists. Which then, ironically, every other one is full of terrorists. Oh, everything's so loud when you're in, like, construction. They just need to put silencers on buzzsaws. You have no jurisdiction. Why did every pair of glasses have to have that exact same shape? Sunglasses and otherwise all had those weird, like, I don't know. They look like an old lady's ass. Just, like, hang down.
Did you notice that? Why did he throw the gun?
I don't know. Maybe he's like...
It didn't even look like the guy hit him at all. He just kind of hopped on his back and threw the gun backwards.
I don't know. Maybe he's just like, I'm a New York cop. My chokehold's on point.
Oh, down the stairs.
That would have been amazing if he went down every flight. Bum, 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 bum. Ugh. So this is the beginning. His shirt was clean. Let's just remember how clean his white shirt was prior to this tussle.
That's one down.
Yeah. Was that like your action movie line, or?
Yeah. That's what he should have said there. That's one down. That's what Arnie would have said, and I think that's why this would have been terrible if it was Arnie.
Okay, I was just gonna say, why did you like use an accent? Because like the one person in this movie does not have an accent.
I was channeling my inner Arnie.
Your inner Arnie? Ugh. I hope I don't accidentally poke into your inner Arnie one day. She shakes her head at me. This is what she gets. This is why she only does this once a year, I think.
Ooh, it's a walkie-talkie. That could be handy.
Yeah. This reminds me of like in a video game when you kill a guy and you're like search body, and then it's like, do you take these things or... Excuse me. That guy's playing a good dead body. I'm thinking he may have actually died and they're just kind of letting it off.
Why was he wearing sweatpants?
Well, you got to be able to move about, right?
Yeah, but they all would have been wearing jeans.
I don't know. Maybe they were just into, maybe there was like a dare thing and they like gave him Viagra. And they're like, everybody's gonna see your boner. He's very brazen, though, for a cop. He's just like, I'm gonna send a little message to these guys just to remind them I'm here instead of just hide this body and buy myself some time. So this is some of the elevator stuff. While shooting this, Jan de Bont got stuck in the elevator, like in the elevator shaft, and that's where they came up with the whole idea for the opening set piece for Speed.
Speed, yep. Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, give me these little moves here. Ugh. It looks like the like a lobby of like a Mandarin, like Chinese buffet.
It does look very Mandarin Chinese buffet.
The only reason I said Mandarin Chinese buffet specifically is I don't think they have Mandarin in the States.
I don't know.
But like, picture Chinese buffets, and ours is called Mandarin. Whatever yours is called, ours is Mandarin.
Pretty much somebody's coming.
It's not like it's a metric restaurant. Ooh. That is a... Did he, like, write in his blood? She's familiar to me. I feel like she's screamed in another movie. That guy, I always wish that guy was Bronson Pinchot. Or Ron Silver.
Yep, I could see both of them.
Just because I've seen them both. Like, he's got the right... See, there you go. Christmas movie.
Christmas.
Oh, we were on the same page. Yes.
Yes.
This is why we're married, folks. It ain't for my looks. This is a weird psychopath who's clearly not wearing shoes. Get that information. I feel like they should have a better plan, like in the Inside Job. You remember, like, they all call themselves like versions of Steve or something like that. They're all just like, no problem. Like, I'm gonna use your first name. No, ain't no issue. Kommst du from Schneider? I heard that in my ear, the German, but it sounded like I was listening to like German described video. Like he was saying, like. He lists his sadnesses from the death of Carl. Not Carl, I was going to say Carl, but that's not correct. Carl's still alive and has long hair. This always makes me think of Mission Impossible when Emilio Estevez dies.
Oh, right. He goes all the way up and there's spikes or something like that, right?
Yes. Which actually, funny, it reminds me, during the shooting of this is when he married Demi Moore. Married her in Vegas, which was right after Demi Moore broke up with Emilio Estevez. So this happens. Todd always freaks out at the coincidence, like the way that these things tie together and stuff
look,
like
honey,
that.
More boobs.
Nice. I'm such a happy camper today.
You can remember them later.
My spank bank is flush with boobies. I want the blood. He looks, I feel sometimes like he is like Rennie Harlan or something like that. Like he's one, I know he's not.
I don't know who that is.
Rennie Harlan, guy directed Die Hard 2 and, Die Harder. He's directed every bad sequel in the world. He also directed like
But I don't know what he looks like.
He's kind of like that. He's got a beard though, is really the difference. That's my favorite thing, is she immediately knows. She's like, oh, my hubby's up to some old trouble.
I like that the guy that's been smoking or snorting crack or whatever coke is worried about the cop fucking it up.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's true. Well, to him, cops are always fucking up his parties and stuff like that.
I guess.
But for what it's worth, he's 100% right. He's the last person who should be doing anything. He would theoretically go to jail for what he's doing right now. Some of the scenes, because like a lot of the scenes are straight out of the book. Amongst those, the jumping from the roof with the fire hose later is right out of the book. Dropping the bomb down the elevator shaft later, when he takes the gun to his back, like those are directly out of there. And they said, like, it was actually, like I said before, it was quite astounding how close to the source material they could stay, considering the fact that they changed his age, changed the daughter to a wife, like they changed a lot of stuff. This always happens in movies. It seems to me like switchboard people are never interested in your calls. So I wonder how anybody ever gets like arrested or anything like that. That guy looks like he was from like Styx or something like that.
Looks like the guy from Lost Boys.
Yeah. But the one on the left, he looks like he's hungry like a wolf. I know Styx didn't do that song. I'm just thinking of 80s songs. Those headsets are something else. They look like they're IVs. Yeah. Roger Ebert, like this got actually quite high, like quite good reviews when it came out. Roger Ebert was one of the few big reviewers who actually gave this a bad review. But when part 2 came out and part 3 came out, he gave those both good reviews, and then actually recanted his review of this, saying that he was like, my opinion on that movie has changed. I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just in time, and I think he did it just before he lost his jaw. So Reginald VelJohnson, anybody who knows him probably best from Family Matters, where he played a cop. He is a cop in most everything, and then as I was going through, because he's still like working steadily to this day, like he's like one-offs in a lot of TV shows and stuff like that. But now more often than not, he plays a judge, so he's always involved with the law. He's I love him so much though. He was so good. They said though he took a lot of shit from friends and fans and stuff like that from this. Look at the price of gas. Stop everything and look at the price of gas. $74.9. It's currently what, like $3.79 for a gallon thereabouts? So maybe a little bit.
It's like $2.69.
Is it $2.69?
Well, we're right on the border, right?
Yeah.
So right on the border, they try to get the Canadians over, so are generally lower than when you go further into the States. But
okay, well, I'd look it up right now, but I don't want to go silent here on you. But yeah, anyways, I know last time it wasn't quite that. Oh no, it was, yeah, because it was about like 67 cents a liter or something like that.
Once we worked in the exchange rate and all that kind of stuff, it worked out to about $1.
Yeah, so yeah, but I mean, it was still cheaper. We were getting tuned recently on our stuff. Oh, see, this is my favorite thing about my wife. If I mention something that can be looked up but doesn't get looked up, she breaks out her phone. Now, I'm holding my phone, but I've got all my notes on it. But now she's going to start Googling.
I cannot help but look stuff up.
I know.
I need to know. I can't not have answers to questions. I just can't.
And I can, but then there's some times where I still kind of want to know the answer, so I bring it up to her so I don't have to bother looking it up. But yeah, so anyways, I'm really disgusted. 79 cents. Like, what is... I'm just trying to think of what that is. That's like 25 cents a liter?
Yeah, well, I mean, 0.74 divided by 3.79.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh, there's those boobs again. Oh, you just touched them. Funny things you never notice. What was the first movie you ever saw that had nudity in it that you can remember? And did I take you to see it?
My parents used to let me watch The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh, that was the one. There you go. I think for me, I don't recall if I saw anything earlier than this, but I was taken in when I was over the river, actually. I was in the States, and I was taken by, it was Todd's mom's boyfriend, actually, took us to go see Under Siege.
Yeah, it's $270 right now.
Oh, it's $270. There you go. Okay.
In the States.
So you're still doing much better than us in gas prices. So if you're ever just thinking, okay, so like ours is essentially like, it's over $4 a gallon, I would say.
Yeah, because we're $1.11 right now.
Yeah.
So let's see, 1 times 3.79. We're about $4.21 a gallon right now.
That's where we're at. That's disgusting. Now I don't want to talk about anything. I'm coming over to steal all your guys' gas. And cheese.
Cheese is so cheap in the States. Yeah. It's so nice.
We actually had a very good scandal, which I think I've actually mentioned before here, where a bunch of cops were smuggling like large amounts of dairy products, specifically cheese, over and selling to the restaurants here at a premium. No, if they hit a gun show. Oh, Carl is not having this. The plans have changed for Carl.
Well, his brother died.
So this is why you don't hire brothers to be part of, like, gangs of, whatever you want to call them in this. I mean, I'm saying thieves because that's what John McTiernan wanted to say, but...
Yeah, but he didn't want to call them thieves, yet he's got the dialogue and everything in here calling them terrorists.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but...
Well, if you didn't want to call them terrorists, don't call them terrorists.
Yes, I know. So I did want to mention, just because, and again, because we have so many tie-ins, the guy who earlier I said was Huey Lewis. His name is Andreas Wisniewski, and he was just prior to this, he was in The Living Daylights, and he was in 2 different Mission Impossible movies. He was in the first Mission Impossible, and he was in Ghost Protocol, playing 2 totally separate people. Oh. This is the good...
The reason he took the lighter, because it gives so much light.
Well, it works. It's better than nothing. Oh, he's so good in this movie. So good in this movie. I feel, though, like, while this did for him the best thing, because, like, he doesn't have to play the Superman action hero like a Schwarzenegger or Stallone, right? Where it's just him just taking out everybody. It's him just constantly getting the shit kicked out of him, but still managing to make his way through it.
Yeah.
And it really... I find it better for action movies. Like we were... I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about people who were going to be in The Running Man, and somebody who was potentially going to be in The Running Man was Patrick Swayze instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it was like...
I don't like that at all.
I kind of did, and the reason I liked it was the same reason they liked it, which was that when you see Arnold, you're like, he's gonna be fine. Like, it's Arnold, right? He's gonna just tear these guys apart. Whereas when you have, when you've got a guy like Swayze, you're like, oh, you might not make it out of this. Like, those guys going against is like a giant.
Help me with my timeline here, because I could be off. But okay. Which came out first? I assume The Running Man came out first, to like Roadhouse and stuff like that.
I believe so. Okay,
because I mean, I guess after seeing Roadhouse, I could see him in something like that, kind of the tough guy. But whenever I think of Patrick Swayze, he's Johnny.
Oh, don't ruin this with dancing.
I'm sorry, but he's Johnny.
He's not Johnny.
He is always Johnny.
On this program, he is Dalton or he's nothing.
He's Johnny.
No, he's not. There's an interesting thing coming up here. This is one of the iconic scenes at the glass. We'll get a little bit more into it in a minute. Look at how dirty that shirt is now. Like, they really need to get their vents cleaned.
They looked pretty clean.
But look at, he's in blackface right now. Look at him. I feel like he's going to open that window and go, "Hey, yo, brother, get up here." Well, because it was inside the building. This is why cops suck.
I love that they think it's a crank call when they heard bullets. I just hit the table.
Yeah, don't do that. Why is that suspicious? That's a security desk.
I see a guard working.
Yeah. So what's the most suspicious thing about this basketball game you're at? 5 really tall guys on that side. Isn't that weird that they're all so tall? This is positing a world where Muggsy Bogues is not on the team I'm talking about. Oh, it just occurred to me, people, like, a lot of people who listen to this show probably are like, Muggsy who? Like, what? Like, that's like somebody now talking to me about, like, Oscar Robertson or something like that. I'm like, I don't know, that's out of my frame of reference. I love when they put German subtitles, like, we've got the subtitles on right now so we can, see everything. But they put the German stuff up, like, that's going to be totally fine to us. It would have been the best if he came in and was like, "Oh man, what's the news?" This guy's better at being an American than the guy, and it was Die Hard 3, where he talks about, he's like, "It seems like I'm always riding a lift," and then so he kills him immediately. He's like, "You're not fooling me." But again, what if he's just one of those like Euro American guys who just like, I watch football, but not the kind that you Americans watch, you Yanks. And it's like, but you're from Jersey. 52 yards. He really busts himself there. The guy goes upstairs. He's like, "Oh crap! I didn't think he'd use the elevator." Oh, is he a Terminator?
He might be.
That would be amazing. Just shoot him a lot. I would shoot literally anybody who had a gun. Wait for nothing. What a weird table. Is this like, this is supposed to be like the main boardroom and it's all zigzag tables, so you could potentially have your back to some people.
Maybe it was meant to be zen.
That's not like a feng shui kind of thing. Or is it feng shui, whatever? You see, you've had enough. Now you're just smashing the table. Like,
I'm
what a pain in
onto
the
the
ass that is.
tea.
Yeah, I know you're onto the tea, but you're not there yet. So we're in a very interesting part. So we're on the weekend. We're Friday. It's officially the opening day of Star Wars today as we're recording this. But I went and saw Star Wars last night at like the early showing. It was fantastic. But Carrie has not seen it yet. I'm taking her. I'm seeing it on Sunday. She's seeing it on Sunday, and she's actually excited for it. I have since I will say, when we started this podcast, it was an effort. Like, she's not an unwilling participant for these kind of things. She's very game when you say, "Hey, why don't you just try this out?" or whatever. She's like, "I'll try it." But usually it was kind of like, not for me or whatever. But since then, she owns Star Wars shirts. She's actually she's read 2 straight books about Star Wars. We can talk about those. Yeah,
I read the Carrie Fisher, The Princess Diarist, which is really cool, actually, because it talked a lot about the first movie and it being made and how they expected it to be a complete flop. Smash.
Yeah. Well, because it looks so crappy at the time, right? Like, as far as, like, if you were making yourself, it probably felt like just one of those cheesy sci-fis.
I mean, one of Harrison Ford's comments is, "You've got a giant guy walking around in a dog suit."
Yes.
So it was kind of cool to sort of read that and get the inside scoop. And
yeah. That's cool.
Yes, he was hoping that he would hear the gunfire from the 32nd floor, but when it's happening right in front of him, nothing.
No, I know.
Anyways, the next book I'm reading right now is called The World According to Star Wars, which is actually really cool. It's I'm enjoying it. It's kind of relating to real world and that kind of thing.
But I'm just saying, I've successfully turned this lady into a nerd. What did you watch for the bulk of the time? Carrie recently was off for some surgery, and what did you watch for the bulk of the time?
Marvel.
She watched I gave her basically the essential MCU, And then she watched all of Jessica Jones and Daredevil. Or you watched Jessica Jones before you went
Jessica
off?
Jones before.
Yeah.
I watched Daredevil, and I'm about to finish Punisher, and I'm loving Punisher.
See, like, there you go. All you have to do, see, you say you can't change your spouse, but I think we've both successfully done it. Well, no, you haven't. I'm still a monster.
I think I just kind of grew up a little handicapped in that department.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
I grew up in a small town that had 2 radio stations.
Yeah. And they both
2.
hated queers. Probably. I don't know.
We were lucky that we had more than one set of lights.
Yeah. That was the scariest place I've ever been. So the world's tiniest town. Like, it was so tiny. It was called Dorset. It's in Ontario. And you go up there and it says, "Welcome to Dorset." And when you get there, you can see the "Now leaving Dorset" sign from there.
That's a tiny place.
It's a street that goes up maybe a quarter mile and then turns left and is done. And there's a general store there and then a couple of houses. And then I think there was like a little church or something. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Oh, he's so dirty. But now he's like, some of him's cleaner. Like, his arms are slightly cleaner and stuff because I guess he's sweating.
I'm guessing a different day of shoot.
Well, that too. But oh, look at that C4. Does C4 just say C4 on it?
I honestly don't know.
It's like,
I would hope so, because you got to know what you're dealing with,
yeah.
right?
It's like when you see Dynamite, like in cartoons, that just says TNT on it, like in giant letters, but nothing else. Yeah, so, God. I feel bad because, like, there's so much, like, I love the chemistry between these two, but they spend so little time actually on camera together.
Yeah.
It was funny. The one scene, one of the first scenes that they shot was it was a portion of the scene that they were in together, where he pretends to be an American, which they actually made.
We just missed the.
Well, we didn't miss it. It's there.
But that was like the line of the movie.
Yes. I know.
I'm sorry, I just interrupted you, and you're a little upset with me right now. I can see it in your face.
Yeah, you fucking ruined this whole show. But I'm going to go to this guy for now. I'm going to skip for a second. We're going to talk about William Atherton, who is basically this guy in every movie he's ever done, but brilliant in this and Ghostbusters. Oh, I love this weird angry face this guy makes. Like he's like, "I'm going to murder you for telling me to eat it." And she is in a couple of things. She was in The Goonies. Gail Wallace.
Yes,
there.
she played the mother.
She's the mother, and I believe it's also the same woman who is the therapist in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Well, no.
She's picking up her phone again.
He just has these questions.
That wasn't a question. That was a fair certainty. I don't remember what I was saying before you so rudely interrupt me. Oh, yeah, no, anyways. They found out that he could do, Alan Rickman could do a really good, like, American accent, so they had decided to do this scene where they'd be together and he'd pretend to be an American. He'd pretend to be, like, one of the hostages who had escaped. And so one of the first things they shot was a portion of that where they're, like, trying to get away together and he has to jump down. And right when he jumped down, the first day of shooting, he injured his knee. He's just jumping down a little 3-foot ledge.
Yep.
And then, so the rest of the scene, there's like portions where he's talking and you can't see him from the waist down or whatever. He's standing on one leg and he's got a brace on his leg that he can't support his own weight.
She is from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I did it again,
Dr.
folks.
Stephanie.
I was afraid that I thought all white people look the same.
She was in Lethal Weapon 4.
Was that?
She was in Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, it was only Lethal Weapon 4? Because I remember seeing her in Lethal Weapon 4 and then just assuming that she had been in the other ones and I wasn't remembering her. But I might be right about that.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon 4.
Yeah, there was like 50 years between 3 and 4, so...
there you go.
Yeah, so I was right. So hopefully we'll see her in Lethal Weapon 5.
She was also in The Outsiders.
Really?
She was Rhonda Sue's mother. She was in Back to the Future.
She played a mom in The Outsiders?
She was in Ghostbusters 2. She's been in everything, dude.
Sweet. What is a lot of ties with Ghostbusters in this? Because actually, Reginald Bell Johnson, one of the movies he was in, which I didn't even think about, he was in Ghostbusters.
She was in Scrooged.
Yeah. Oh, she's all over the place. She's got a great career.
Remington Steele.
Carrie likes her some Remington Steele.
I love Pierce Brosnan. She was in Romancing the Stone.
She looks like she was in Romancing the Stone. I don't know what that means, but I'm right. He drove backwards way too long. Even I feel like if a body went through my windshield, I still wouldn't drive backwards as long as he did. And I'm not a cop.
Oh, she actually died.
Oh my god.
2 years ago.
Son of a bitch. All the great people in this movie are dead. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, she was 62. Huh.
Oh, well, we'll be alright. I feel like I'm over it already. Here's our favorite guy here. His name is, and I can't remember for the life of me, Paul Gleason. He was the principal in the Breakfast Club.
Yep.
And he was in Arthur. He's in Johnny Be Good. He's another guy who, I think almost every person in this movie is playing the role they always play, except Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Willis is this version of Bruce Willis in virtually everything. Think about a Bruce Willis movie, and then he's always a burnt out, divorced father who is or was a cop and is drunk or whatever, like The Last Boy Scout, like anything like that. It's always kind of the same case. And then we've already said Reginald Bell Johnson always seems to be a cop. Bonnie Bedelia always seems to have hair. Does that count?
You did.
I really love her character in this. There's kind of a very narrow amount of, in this time, a narrow amount of strong female characters. And while she's not the strong female character who's picking up the gun and all that, she's got
some balls. She just went and...
She just totally shit-talked Snape. He could put an Imperious curse on her if he wanted to. Make her do whatever he wants. And at Hollywood, we know what that is now. God. I just want, have we gone a day since Harvey Weinstein without finding out about a new person? And usually a person you did not want to find out about. I just wanted them to be normal.
Probably not.
I can't think of, most recently, Mario Batali.
Yeah.
Come on. I can't even eat friggin' gnocchi now without thinking about some...
Well, no, even more recent than that was Johnny Izuni from Great American Baking Challenge, and he was on some of the top chefs and everything else,
disgusts me that you know his name. I only knew that it was a guy from American Baking.
Watch it.
I know, it's still... Ms. Gennaro. She says Miss, but it says Ms., and just always use Ms. If you're gonna... What?
Gennaro sounded like generic. I miss generic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like she made up the whole name. This dirty little redhead.
That guy. I know him from something too. What do I know him from?
Well, if you were listening to me 3 minutes ago, you know him from Ghostbusters.
That's right. He played the guy that came in to try and shut down, had them shut down the thing that created the chaos and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes. His name's William Atherton. You also know him from Die Hard 2, where he plays the same character and he's on the plane with Holly. And he's in The Pelican Brief, Mad City. He was in The Last Samurai. I was going to say most recently, but that's not true. But it was the most recent thing I knew that wasn't just a one-off TV thing. Because I stopped talking about those when I found out everybody's in Hill Street Blues. Literally every person has been in Hill Street Blues. I've been in it 6 times.
Well, then why don't we have more money?
Because I was a baby and my parents stole all my money. This is the one thing I hate, and this is actually what Roger Ebert's biggest complaint was this character. He's like, he makes the whole movie not make sense, because he's like, what FBI agent would just throw away information he's being given? He's just like, oh, screw that. That can't be right.
Yeah.
It's like he's forcefully not using logic to the point, and I get why that would upset Roger Ebert, because it legitimately makes me angry when I listen. I'm like, you want to like yell at the guy, and then you're like, oh yeah, he's not a real person. But I like when people react weird to movies, like we were talking about Star Wars again, and we were there, and it's fun to see those premieres because people are clapping in the cool parts and all that kind of stuff, and it was great, and like, you know, like the shouts at the beginning and the end. But I think my favorite all-time reaction to something in a movie was actually on Carrie and my first date. We went and saw the movie Boogeyman, and this weird logo came up. I think it was like Azteca or something like that. And the girl in front of us was like, wow, I can't wait to see that.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
She was like, I thought that was like, she thought it was a trailer or something like that. Yeah. It was this big long thing, but it was not good. And Boogeyman wasn't that good either. And the fact that our relationship endured beyond that.
That just shows that we were so meant for each other.
Beyond that, and then beyond when I introduced myself to that waitress, because I thought it was a friend of yours. Do you remember that?
When we went to the trivia night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went. It was like our second date was actually with a bunch of her friends. And when we got there, the girls were all gone. They were like, oh yeah, they're all outside. They'll be back in a second. And then a girl walks up and she's like, hi. And I just stood up and I'm like, hi, I'm Joe. And then everybody's like, no.
I remember that now.
Yeah. That's my reality. Nice.
Yes, because they'd be worried about going through the gardens.
I love that. I honest to God have never like noticed that before.
Why do they have a concession stand?
Yeah, I know, that's really weird. They got a little newsstand there. What like high-end like executive of like a mega company is like making sure he's gonna get himself some Raisinets? Yeah, you know that guy wants himself a Twix. I don't know exactly. I can't remember what he gets. I feel like it would be a Zagnut.
Was it a Crunch Bar? I think it was a Crunch Bar.
It was it was definitely a Hershey product. Spread out. They got a lot of people here. It was like, it's now looking like it's like the NBA Finals, all those lights shining in the air. This guy's just randomly driving around now. He's not going to be very helpful. And now he's underground, which means he's not even going to get like signal to like get his call, get John's call if he needs it.
Why is he talking to the bear?
Been a lonely day for him. I think that if an action movie didn't break out on him, he probably would have been having sex with that bear by the end of this. His girlfriend dumped him or whatever. Yum.
Crunch Bar.
Yeah. I feel like this guy would get in trouble for like not just saying, like, just say what the problem is. You actually cost us time by like trying to turn this into a nursery rhyme.
But it's a Christmas movie. You got to have 'Twas the Night Before Christmas in a Christmas movie.
It's true, and this takes place on Christmas Eve, which is a really shitty thing to have like a late night work party on Christmas Eve. Now go home to your kids, drunk people who are on cocaine and fucking your random like coworkers. Like you left all your kids, like you didn't read to them before they went to bed. You gave them to their nannies. He's the only one who seems to get it.
No shit, Sherlock.
He is. He's infuriating.
What kind of cop can't pick a lock?
What? A law-abiding cop. That's who. Joss the Boone to them. I've just been rewatching. What's his face? rewatching Breaking Bad and I just saw the episode where they opened the lock on that door and they used the thermite and I like burned it off and stuff. And I'm like, that's so much cooler than this. They used science. Oop, for people who can't see us visually, Carrie just got the chills.
I did get the chills.
Yeah. She did like a little shimmy. It was pretty good.
Send in the car.
The car. Park the car and have a yard. That's not an RV. This guy's stupid and doesn't know anything.
I think he means like a ramming vehicle.
Oh.
RV ramming vehicle.
That would be good. What are you doing? I like that it just says rocket ammunition. Like, I love when they need exposition to be over reality. It's not like the name of like the weapon or something like that. Like,
well, it's like the point that you made earlier about would C4 say C4 on it. Well, it's telling them that it's C4, but this is just ammunition.
Yeah. I want them to dumb it down even more for me. Like, there's a box of bullets and it says gun seeds.
I wish I knew what they were saying.
Mach schnell, weiter. Yeah. I like the... Oh, that thing's extreme. Lock it down.
How long is it taking for this friggin' RV to get to them? Does it come from Texas?
It's very heavily armored. It's not running very fast. I do wish I had a 6-wheeled vehicle though. I feel like that would just look very badass, like when driving to work and stuff like that.
Send in the car. Send in the car.
It couldn't even make it up. Like, that's my favorite part. That they did not need to fire at
the
that thing.
handrails took it out.
And then you find out that the handrail was actually part of the gang. It was installed prior as like an undercover. Oh, it's so good. See, and if this was Snape instead, like, he would have put this whole thing down. He would have already had the thing open, the safe open. Like,
well, that's because he would have had the dark arts to help back him up.
Oh, he's the man. He's the man. Ugh. They were saying because they had a model of this that they were working, like a model of the building that they were working with on the making of the movie and stuff like that. I will not fuck you. I
think they're dead. They're burning in there? What?
Yeah. Well, it's certain people can burn longer than others. I think in California, because they're all really tanned, they could probably survive fire for just a little bit longer.
Is that why it's on fire right now?
Yeah. I hope it's out. Is it out yet?
No.
Oh, no? Oh, well, let's then let's give our actual heartfelt thing, because we have actually a lot of Californian listeners. We got people in LA and San Francisco, and I know LA is the kind of the bigger part of it right now. And then we've got people all over the place, and we hearts out. Hopefully all goes well. Hopefully anybody who was evacuated was done safely, and anybody who wasn't evacuated, it doesn't have to be. So, much love, guys.
Don't you think that would take down the infrastructure? Infrastructure?
No, because usually
it was an entire floor.
That's fine. It's fine. This is how. Although I bet you that this is an example that they would use in like the
conspiracies for 9/11.
Exactly. You knew exactly where I was going. The 9/11 conspiracy people. Look at how old that camera is. Oh, poor Channel 5. That would have been great. It cuts to Channel 5 and they're like covering like a squirrel on water skis. Oh, look at this guy. He looks like Harry, who's like the businessman who's in there right now, like with his hair and stuff. Hey, Bubby.
I think he looks a little bit like crap, I lost the name.
Uh-oh. Get it back.
Chuck
Norris?
Norris.
You had it. You lost.
I was going to say Norris,
syllable.
and then I was like, no, that's not it.
Chuck Norrington. Our spotter says, see, that was just like logic exposition. It's just like, okay, we had to get rid of a couple of nameless people, so I'm just gonna say that somebody noticed that you killed 2 people. Oh no.
Oh no, they're covered in glass.
Yeah, remember I love that. Remember that he doesn't care about glasses right now, though. Anybody named Dwayne is an asshole. I love Argyle reaction shots. Must be nice when you don't actually have to answer to the guy, eh? I love it. Oh, they're in love. I think that's one thing that I don't think I ever addressed or like looked into, but I feel like the third Die Hard was meant to be these 2 guys together.
That would make sense.
Right? Because like, oh, Carrie's looking at him. There he is, see? See? Hans Gruber in that stock photo that they had of him before. It looks very, like $1 million deals, forget it. Think about that Disney buying Fox. That was a $52 billion deal. That guy's... Imagine all the cocaine you could get on that deal. I would shoot him anytime. Like, even Carl. Me and Carl are on the same wavelength.
I forgot what I was looking up.
You were looking up to see if Reginald VelJohnson was supposed to be in Die Hard 3 instead of Sam Jackson. Which you're not going to find on IMDb. God, I love this guy. This guy nails this role despite the fact that I legitimately wanted them to shoot him the second he started talking. You here to negotiate. I like the idea that they actually get an opportunity to have fun with somebody. Hans. Bubby. This, that reaction shot where he's, that reaction shot where he was all kind of like, puzzled there was apparently like a real thing because he was, because a lot of that was improv that he did, that Hans Bubby, and he's just like, what? Like, so his teeth should have been way whiter though. His teeth were kind of like half yellow, like he drinks too much coffee.
Yep.
I was like, those needed to be the whitest teeth, like game show white. Oh, everybody loves. I feel like anybody who eats a lot of Twinkies goes out of the way to not know what's in them, not be able to list all of the ingredients.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. So we don't know if Reginald VelJohnson was supposed to be in it. I feel like that just would have been the case. Like I feel like the original script was he moved to LA, like to be with Holly finally.
Yeah.
And then they were there and they were actually friends now, and then were together when they got caught into it. That's, to me, would make the most sense. That being said, Samuel L. Jackson kicked ass in that movie, so
I love Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh,
I could listen to him talk all day.
See, where we've got Yippee motherfucker in this, he goes, motherfucker.
I think my favorite line of his was from Snakes on a Plane. Something about motherfucking snakes.
Oh, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Yeah,
that was the entire reason he took the role. Yeah, they let a lot of shit go down. The thing I like about him, he makes movies based on what he would have wanted to see, like, just to watch a movie. He wasn't making, I say was, like he was dead, but like he's dead now, but like he talks about he talks about these movies and he like hears about them, and like he went in for Snakes on a Plane on plot alone. He hadn't actually read the script. And he was just literally like, they were like, yeah, you're on a plane and there's a bunch of snakes. It's called Snakes on a Plane. He's like, all right, let's
do this.
Like, send a check to my management and I'll be there. And like, he did Star Wars and he did all kinds of good stuff, right? I'm going to give this guy a little bit of credit, though. He actually protected Holly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he did a good thing. The guy got him a Coke. I love it. But, it seems wasteful seeing as what's about to happen. It was like, do you really need to... If you didn't get them Coke, would he not... Or maybe he's just so into Coke, that's everything he has to do.
Maybe.
He could have had a Pepsi. He's like, no, it's got to be Coke.
All Coke.
Oh, buddy. That's very poorly lit. Do it. He is nailing this. So yeah, Hart Bochner there. He was in the original Supergirl movie that came out in '84.
Okay.
And he was in the movie Bulworth with why can't I think of his name? Warren Beatty.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was he was his political opponent in this. I saw him. It's actually funny. I saw a more recent picture of him, and he didn't have a beard anymore. He looks younger now than he did then, and it's like 30-something years.
There are people like that, though. I mean, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. Jared Leto is what, 50?
He's in his 50s. He's like 52 or 53 or something like that.
Ugh.
Now I gotta look that up. Jesus Christ.
This is what living with her is like.
It's true. I kill my battery numerous times a day just looking shit up. If only I could remember at least half of what I look up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're the one who looks everything up, but I'm the one who knows everything.
It's true.
Just gave him up.
Oh, we were wrong. He's 45.
Well, he's almost 50. That's getting there.
But he still looks like he was like 20.
Yo, absolutely. He looks like a little baby.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna nail him. But I always like when it was more in the 80s than anything, but like everything that a guy would say about another guy really sounded like he was gonna like have sex with him. I'm gonna nail this guy. I'm gonna nail him so hard. He's gonna be so nailed. I would go home. I'd be like, you know what? It's been a day. My head's bleeding.
My wife's pregnant. I got Twinkies in the car for her.
Yeah, it's my neighbor's kid, Stephen Urkel, has been getting on my nerves a lot lately, and I know they're away right now. I can have a little quiet time. I think we've talked about this before. Did you know that Family Matters was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers? So bringing up Bronson Pinchot.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, it was because Harriet, so the mom in the show, was the elevator operator at the place where Balky and Larry worked.
Right.
And that turned into a different show that had nothing to do with her working at that place. Ooh, they said Quebec, Canada. I love it. Asian Dawn. I like that they have like a very fun working relationship, which is hilarious. They're like, oh, what are you doing? I'm just screwing with him. It's great. Oh, I do like that he wore a suit to this job. I feel like he probably also should have worn some track pants.
I know, he's all dressed in the nines while the guys that are working with him are wearing tracksuits.
It'd be amazing. Like all his like underlings are there, and they're just like spread out, and they're just like, "I'm so comfortable." How many of them are left? 9. See what I did?
I got you, honey.
German. See, his are the most round of any glasses, but everybody else, like, he doesn't have the big dips like everybody else has, but still has some little dips. He has like a little old grandma ass. See, he knows how to do this shit. That's why I like that Jeremy Irons plays his brother in part 3. Spoiler alert, they're brothers. I feel bad. I sometimes, because I say something like that, and there is a chance that somebody hasn't seen it, but I mean, if you haven't seen it and you weren't aiming to see it already, well, screw you. I'm sorry. I can't. You need to. But this is, I guess, a problem for younger people who have to, like, catch up, because, like, everything that's coming out now, but then I'm also making sure, like, they have to watch basically 30 movies a week to, like, catch up to where we're at. And, just go on Mr. Skin. Watch everything that's on Mr. Skin, and then you'll be fine. It's all the boobs. Oh my god, is that, Roger Ailes? Helsinki Syndrome. Oh, oh my god, there was a guy, he was one of Roy Moore's campaign guys who was just on CNN. There's a great thing. Anybody who hasn't seen it, go find this thing. It's a little quick thing. He was on Jake Tapper, and Jake Tapper asked him why Roy Moore thought that Muslims shouldn't be in Congress. And he goes, well, you have to swear on the Bible. And he's like, I've run for office, I've sworn on the Bible, and they can't ethically swear on a Bible. And then Jake Tapper's like, you don't have to swear on a Bible, you can swear on anything. It's like, Jewish people will not swear on a Bible, they'll swear on something else. Like, it's like all these different things. And he's like, you know that, right? And then the guy's like, oh, but I swore on...
Oh, look who it is.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
I
used to watch him in Profiler.
Also a Goonies guy.
Yep, Goonies.
And he was a real dirtbag. When I was getting I've told this story on the show before. I was getting Joe Pantoliano's autograph, and I heard him talking about some fairly young women, like a dirtbag.
Why hasn't his name come out recently?
Well, he didn't have sex with them. He was just looking at them. But anyways, yeah. So what I was saying, so he's asking this guy, he's like, the guy's like, I swore on a Bible. I had to swear on a Bible. He's like, you didn't have to swear on a Bible. And he's like, Trump swore on a Bible. He chose to swear on a Bible. And the guy just sat there staring at him agape. He's like, do you understand that that's not the law? And he's just, literally a huge moment with no speaking. And then they just another, do you? Like, he was genuinely concerned. It was that little jump where he hurt his knee.
How you doing?
And here's this great American accent. Don't get me, please. I'm not a huge fan of this American accent, but they made this scene specifically because he could do an American accent. British people are great at American accents, and if you don't believe it, just watch Walking Dead and realize that none of them are American.
Yep.
I mean, some are, but Norman Reed, there's no faking Norman Reedus. I apologize, Norman, if you listen to this show. He doesn't. I think most of the people who listen to this are the people who just post on there who says, like, get your track listened to on SoundCloud. Oh, there's people all over that roof. Don't you go that way, there's a gun. Nice. I wanted him to kind of like fall in love with him here. He's like, wow, this guy's really a good guy. I'm not going to rob this. Oh, Nakatomi Plaza. Buildings, like, that's such a cool looking building. I love Johnson & Johnson. It's actually kind of funny. They hired a lot of, like, black people in prominent roles in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Give it up. Like I would say 4 of the main guys. Good for them.
Yep.
I mean, it's not, I wouldn't call it super progressive, but it's better than nothing. Nice. Smoking cigarettes. Everybody smokes in the 80s. Ugh. Something I never got behind. Todd smokes, and he'll tell you don't do it.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. Just vape. Be a cool person and vape. Nice. He's learning so much. That is not a good angle for him. He looks like a fat in this angle. Who would look at how gross his feet look? That's what the bottom of your feet look like because you never wear friggin' shoes.
What?
That's how the bottom of your feet look because you never wear shoes.
I've put shoes on this week. We've got snow.
Yeah. That is. So you explain your rule to people.
If it's above 0 and there's no snow on the ground, I wear flip-flops.
You've worn them below 0.
I have worn them below 0. You're right.
Basically, your real rule is if the snow doesn't go above the level of the flip-flop.
Yes, I do have pictures.
Your barefoot.
I do have pictures of my feet in the snow in flip-flops.
We have a lot of pictures of your feet, and I'm not even into that stuff. I'm not even like, what's his face? The old coach of the Bills there.
Rex Ryan.
Or Quentin Tarantino, another guy who's into dirty feet. See, I've been telling her because she does a lot of stuff with her feet. She can light a lighter with her feet.
I can.
And I've tried to explain to her that we could probably make some good money on like a webcam thing, just doing stuff with her feet, like so she doesn't have to do anything sexual. And
if I kept working at it, I could probably tee a golf ball too. I know I can get a tee into the ground, and I can almost pick up the golf ball.
Well, I feel like I could get a tee into a ground. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like you're going high difficulty.
Almost pick up the golf ball and get it on there.
Nice. See? Can't you picture guys wank into that?
No.
I can. I picture nothing else.
Oh, he's got his other accent back.
Nice. Oh yeah, they're tricky guys.
Isn't he on TV right now?
No, well, he's on our TV, but this is a silver screen thing. Or did I? This is a great... I really like... Why would he keep trying? He's like, maybe there's one in here somewhere. But that was one of the great, like, bad guy, good guy, like, talks, you know? I love it, because you don't get a lot of face-to-faces in these kind of movies.
You killed my brother!
Yeah, usually the face-to-face always comes down to... like the very end, like we're finally gonna fight or whatever. But this one was like, hey, we're just gonna have a little talk in the middle of this, just so everybody's aware of what's going on. This glass scene, which is kind of one of the most iconic scenes in the whole movie, where he's gonna walk on the broken glass. He's gonna tell him right now to shoot the glass. That's what the translation is. There. Oh, we're gonna hear about it, but yeah, see, he knows. Kyle. So that literally means shoot the glass. Or shoot the window. Sorry, fenster means window. And,
why do you know German like that?
Well, I know, that was a piece of trivia I read.
Oh.
But fenestra in, I think, is Italian. And fenêtre, which is French, all window. So... that's good. This is just one of the many ways where English really does fuck up language. All the other languages in the world have basically said, this is kind of what this sounds like. And like with just little changes, which is very normal. And then like, screw it, window!
Like anana?
Yeah.
Anana.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
Yeah, you weren't even close. It's like, that thing looks like a pine cone and an apple. No, it doesn't look like either of those things. It's a pineapple.
So I might have gotten you a new listener.
Why? Who'd you get?
Well, I said I was texting with my friend Cheryl, and I said that if you listen, I'll give you a shout out. So shout out to Cheryl.
There's no way she paid attention this deep into this thing. There's no way
she's going to sift through it and try and find her name. Cheryl, what did I say?
Yeah.
You get back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You got time. You only have a brand new baby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then she's got nothing but time.
Exactly.
If you ignore your baby, you have all the free time in the world. It's not going anywhere. Batch him. Ooh, you guys did great. Look at that guy's sick mustache. William Atherton looks like he should have always had a dirty mustache. Oh, my guy's going to work. Oh, I love this. The little Carl freak out. It's very Kylo Ren in Force Awakens. I really wish that they could have explored their relationship more. I would have liked maybe in the third one, or maybe actually probably the second one, because I was not a big fan of the way of the second one. I would have liked to have had them in this situation together or something like that, so you could see them play off of each other, have their arguments. But
yeah.
But in everything, you just have to kind of assume that, they have this relationship that's gone cold for whatever reason, and they're kind of hot-headed towards each other. So the glass walking through that we just had, and his bloody feet and all that. So they really overcomplicated that. I assumed that they would have just had him walking on candy glass or something like that, and then fake blood. Good to go. No, they put him in shoes that look like his feet.
Those were shoes?
He's in the scene where he's actually walking on the glass. They put him on, he's wearing rubber shoe things that look like his feet. So I don't know if it's just the bottoms or whatever, but something got to get you off the street. This is the only that would have been great. It was that FBI guy. Uh-oh. See, this wouldn't even people wouldn't even bat an eye to this news now.
Yeah.
I shot a kid. Yes, so what? Everybody shoots kids. Now, I wonder in the book how that kind of goes around, because this is a guy who is a cop, who's been a cop for a really long time, so that fits in. But when you're a 21-year-old, what happens? Was he somebody who was a hot shot who made detective, then shot a kid, and then was busted back down to the streets, or to the beat?
That sounds about right. Probably something like that.
Cool. I just wrote a movie, folks. I'm gonna steal it. Uh-oh. I'm just walking around on the grass going...
I love seeing his car sitting there with
I
the light still going.
I feel like somebody would have taken care of that by now. At least gotten it down. This is one of my favorite things in movies, especially ones that have any kind of heist or anything like that. The plan is always my favorite part. And when you finally get to hear these guys' plans, so exactly what they just... their whole plan was to act like terrorists so that they would shut down the building so they could get into the vault. That shit is brilliant. And that's the inside job. That's again, I've second time I mentioned on this one, but that's one of my favorite all-time plans. It's I legitimately had to think about it. I'm which one of our banks could we get away with that in the best? If you did it fast enough, people would be surely nobody's ripping this idea off. His face is weird. It's all divoted and stuff.
Stop moving.
You clumsy. This is basically the same scene from, again, you've had multiple people from Ghostbusters in this movie. What about it? What are you pointing at?
That guy.
Yeah, what about him?
I recognize him from something too.
Oh, I'm sure he's in some. Yeah, I don't know. He's in stuff, I'm sure.
Oh.
It's not worth your time. Don't look it up. You're gonna let's be strong together right now, and you don't look this up.
Who are you talking to?
I am talking to my wife. Oh, you suck. You're
You
so
suck.
weak. You're so weak. Can't even do it. No, she's looking it up. What a coward. It's opening up. I wish that, like, nothing had been in here, or something so dumb, but it was...
I love the triumphant music that's playing.
They had decided very specifically to use Ode to Joy as their theme song. You can actually hear it a couple times earlier through the thing, too, like, working its way up. He's not going to be amongst the main guys on this
I
cast.
know.
You have to hit, like, all cast or whatever. Excuse me. What was he? Oh, then.
Tracy Reiner was in this.
Oh, right, they did it. But, she's the pregnant lady. She was
Really?
the one, yeah, she was like, she's the one I think who was like, oh, he looks real pissed or whatever.
Thornburg's assistant.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think she was a pregnant lady. I think that was her. Give them helicopters up the ass. See, again, they're having sex with these
Right
guys.
up the ass.
Look at the size of that, though.
Old
that is
school
a phone.
cell phones.
Yeah, that's a good old Zach Morris phone. Imagine we still had those. Imagine, like, smartphones evolved with those. So
I would never be able to do this.
What? Scroll left and right on IMDb's app?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. She's not even watching the movie now. This is what kind of commentary you're getting from this woman. This is why she's a one a year.
Bite me. Okay. Oh, I know him from something, though.
Don't worry about it. It's just something, and you don't have to worry about it.
I'll worry about it later.
Yeah, there you go. I still feel like even if those shoes were too small for him earlier, he should have just gone ahead and worn them.
Yep.
Like, tight shoes are always better than no shoes in the situation where you might be in a gunfight. If I walk on hard floors long enough and I'm not wearing shoes, like, my feet start getting sore.
Mine don't.
Well, I'm really proud of you. You accomplish at a level with your feet that nobody else can. Okay? Once again, reason why I want to point a camera at them and let weird businessmen have happy time while you step on a pile of mashed potatoes.
Ew.
I actually, something I catch myself doing a lot on this podcast, especially in the mini episodes where I'm really able to edit, because obviously this is all one take. I can't edit any of this, but those ones I hear all the time. I'm like, I would get like speech teachers and stuff would light me up for all the stuff for all those little things I do. Why is there all sorts of random, right? Oh, it's because it's under construction. That's like all the measurements and stuff. Wonder what they were building up there. He's so sweaty. He's been through a lot today. I wonder if he just wanted his shirt off. He's like, I need ladies to see this bod. Show them what Demi Moore can have, but nobody else. Can't believe Little Richard married him to Demi Moore. I can't believe it didn't work. What was he doing upstairs? I felt bad. This was that period of time when he probably knew that his time with his hair was coming to an end. Because it's just creeping backwards, but like staying in the middle like you're fake.
He hadn't given up on his hairline like you have.
What? Oh, I gave up so hard. I should have shaved my head when I was in high school. I saw the signs then.
I didn't know you in high school.
No, you would have loved me. All the ladies loved me in high school. I think. Probably not. I think I was weird. If you can imagine what that would be like. Oh, Hans. I kind of want to be in this situation. I don't know what it is. Yeah, you don't have the best fight or flight, but I feel like I need to do this one time.
No, I got terrible fight or flight.
This is my...
I would take off. I would run my ass out of there.
There you go. This is like, I want to... That's a lot. It's a lot of C4. So one thing that always throws me off with bombs and stuff, because like you gotta cut the certain wire or whatever. I feel like with C4, because like a charge needs to be sent into it to explode. If you just pulled the wires out, wouldn't that just do it? Like, wouldn't that just be the end? Like, it's...
I don't know enough about bombs.
But that's, like, I'm just like, I felt like if he just saw that C4, I would have just yanked all the wires out. I was like, cool, let's solve that problem.
Oh, this is personal, honey.
He always has to fight. I can't remember in 2, but I know in 3 he has to fight like the way bigger than him German at one point. It's kind of like every video game, how you have to fight the second to last boss is always the really big guy. Like who's like he seems like he would be the main guy if not for the fact that the other guy's the one who makes all the plans.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You screwed up. Aww. I would murder that dude the hardest for doing this. I think you would get... I think you'd get away with it. Like if her or John McClane went and killed that reporter just in cold blood... And then they just had to say, oh, well, everybody, we were all going to be safe. And then this reporter exposed her as my wife and all this stuff. And also invaded my home. Oh. I think this might be the most mic smacks in an episode.
Should make it a drinking game for this episode.
Oh
Every
God.
time you hear a mic smack, take a drink.
That's what you've been doing, right?
I did take a drink earlier.
Yeah. But we smacked the mic so many times that you finished your drink.
I've finished both my drinks, actually.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but one of them was just tea. That doesn't count. I don't know what
it
was
was
in
a
it.
big ass mug of tea.
Was it ayahuasca tea or something like that?
No, it was my sleepy time tea.
Are you tripping? Only you were recording a podcast and she's like, I better start this thing off by drinking some sleepy time tea. and then looking stuff up on my phone.
I started the tea partway through. I needed it to cool down. You know I can't drink it when it's hot.
So she started it off. It was the chaser to alcohol. I want to be nice and awake for this bad boy.
Well, it's almost over, and then I get to go to bed while you put everything away.
Yeah, that's the truth. And then I've got to do research for the next episode recording. And then...
But to be fair, I'll be getting up with the kids in the morning. You won't be.
We'll see.
I'll be letting you sleep in.
We'll see. You'll get up, I know, but I just have a feeling I'll end up getting up as well. I have news for you, Mr. McClane. John McClane. He doesn't even get the chance to know. Oh, that is a good one. I like when people get shot. Not in real life, though. Just in movies. I might as well clarify that, eh? That was not a powerful enough kick to even stun a giant German.
I know, he used like the top of his foot and stuff. I would have used my heel.
Remember, these are people who poop on people they love. She's wearing really low-cut stuff there for like a high-end executive.
Ah, look at all that cleavage, man.
That
Holy
is
shit.
that is a sick amount of cleave for a boss. He is an exceptional theater. It was a fantastic plan. He just tried to karate chop him. I never noticed that before. Hand open. Like the fact that he didn't open that up with haki-taki.
Well, they're in a Japanese building, so, you got to pull out some of the...
That's fair. So you think like he's culturally appropriating what's going on around him? Oh.
He's culturally appropriating what his environment is.
Yeah. Oh. This kind of reminds me of in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Something similar happens the first time when they try to bring dude to life. He ends up like getting hung up in all the chains.
Why are they flying so erratically?
Well, I don't know. Just like Saigon. I feel like they should have been given legitimately should have been given a spin-off. Where it was like just a buddy thing with them.
The Sideshow Bob version of a Lethal Weapon?
Sideshow Bob?
I don't know.
Your brain just said words.
Well, Sideshow Bob, like the sidekick, to Lethal Weapon.
Okay, but why Sideshow Bob? He like the murderer from The Simpsons?
I was working with Sideshow.
Okay.
And Bob just popped in there.
Wow. Man. I think you guys are like witnessing our divorce. Weird.
If this is what we get divorced over.
It was going to be over something stupid.
It's true, actually. We never do fight.
If I didn't leave you when you rented me out to those businessmen.
Well, we needed the money.
And I'd do it again. So anybody who's out there. But it has to be in a place where it's legal. Any place where it's legal. Oh, he's so bloody. Like, how many... Like, I always picture when they're all that injured, when it's all said and done and he finally gets to take a shower. Imagine how bad that would sting.
Oh, it would hurt so bad.
I would just like feel like it would feel worse than the original thing. Nobody is like, I feel like every single person when they got to the bottom of those stairs should have reacted to the hanging German.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's okay. So all the people made it down the stairs in time. I feel like you could too. Unless he's just really feeling the guilt over murdering the big dude and didn't want to see him again. There's bonsai trees all over the place. This place is mad racist. But yeah, most of, like I was saying before, they had the model of this building, and it was assumed that most of like the explosions and stuff were happening just on the model. But a lot of the explosions that happened were actually done around the building. They didn't make like mini explosions. They did full-size ones. That being said, I don't believe that this was one of them. It doesn't strike me as something they would do. Ugh. See, he didn't really have a backup plan for that because, like, I can't imagine that he would have thought that would hold in its place when, like, he's, 180 or whatever he might be, right?
Yep.
And so that wasn't going to hold. So he's like, well, hopefully this will just latch onto something on my way down. And I also don't feel like it's so heavy that it would pull him down.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be like 60 or 70 pounds tops.
Well, I think the initial weight of it falling like that might have tugged him, but
it wouldn't
not
be
like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we've picked this movie apart. It's actually Nakatomi Tower. Now that I'm looking at especially the top of it, it looks a lot like the main one of the main buildings in Grand Theft Auto. When you get out, which one was it? Would have been Grand Theft Auto 4, I think.
I don't play that game.
You should.
I don't.
No, I keep telling you, you don't even have to do like killing or anything like that. Just drive around. You'd enjoy yourself. Because you don't have to like obey traffic laws, and that could be your version of the criminal. You're like, look at me, I'm running reds, and the cops don't come after you for running red lights. They'll come after you if you go on a nice spree of driving on the sidewalk. But I find that that's true everywhere.
See, and Jesus was brought into it.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, man,
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, they have said Jesus a lot of times in this. They're invoking him.
And there's Christmas trees and Merry Christmases and
Yeah. Well, there's a
Christmas
super.
movie.
There's another super racist line in this that they said earlier. The Tagashi guy who was killed, he was like, "Do you guys even celebrate?" They're like, "Do you guys even celebrate Christmas?" He's like, "Well, we didn't get you with Pearl Harbor." He's like, "We're flexible. We didn't get you with Pearl Harbor. Now we're Pearl Harbor. So now we're selling you TVs or something like that." I was like, "You shouldn't be saying that. You were alive during Pearl Harbor." I'm out of bullets. Feel bad. Poor Fox Studios. Or not Fox Studios, but the Fox headquarters. 2 bullets. That's all you need.
There's only 2 guys back there. That's all you need.
Shoot through them. Full disclosure, I just stepped on the foot of this table really hard and I hurt my foot. So, I have an owie. And I'm powering through because I love my listeners with all my heart. Give it up for Argyle. But don't give it up for this black-on-black violence. There supposedly was another scene where Argyle... That was the weakest punch I've ever seen.
I feel like if they made this movie again, that would be Will Smith's son, Jaden.
Yeah. If I see Jaden Smith is done being in... He had better be done being in movies. Ever since I heard him say that he knows a special math that other people don't know, I was like, okay, you and I are done, Jaden.
Are his parents Scientologists? Because that sounds like a Scientologist thing.
There's been a lot of rumors that Will Smith was a Scientologist. He has given money to a Scientology thing and stuff like that, but there's never been anything. And usually they're pretty big to confirm big celebrities. They don't let celebrities be secret Scientologists, so I don't think he is. And I still think, and I find Will Smith to be very pleasant. I just think that his kids are too crazy. One of them
take after their mother.
No, Jada Pinkett Smith is a peach. Okay? She was in Demon Knight, which we'll be doing fairly soon, probably in the next couple of months. So leave her alone. Leave the adult Smiths alone, and let's really focus on these children.
I whip my hair back and forth. Back and forth.
Now let's talk about Willow Smith. No.
Well, Bonnie Bedelia's got a nice lock of hair there that she could whip back and forth.
No, that's a perm. It will not
That's
move.
true.
She could whip her head back and forth, and her hair will stay firmly in place.
I know. I don't even know why she's worried about the gun in her face, because her hair would just protect her from it.
Yeah, exactly.
All the hairspray.
It's all curly and stuff. It should have grabbed the gun and just pulled it into her hair. Motherfucker. I love this. They actually stole this right out, stole right from this in Community. They did a thing in one of the paintball episodes where he did the whole thing where he came in with the gun like it was the same shot, and then they do this weird laughing with the gun taped to the back thing. But yeah, that's right out of the book too, so I may actually go and read these detective books. They're very old though. So hopefully there's no N-word Jim character like in Tom Sawyer. We got him. They're all holding on. So this was actually a really interesting thing because they did this. They didn't drop him from a building. They were on a 20-foot model. Mm-hmm. And he was hanging from, and the a stuntman was holding on to him. And they said, okay, we're going to let you go on a count of 3. They let him go on 2 so they could get that face. Because, so that is a legitimately, why did you let me go face? And then, he proceeded to fall 20 feet onto a mat. Oh, it's probably still to this day one of the best bad guy deaths.
Yep.
Like, or most iconic anyways. I mean, there's been cooler deaths or whatever, but...
I guess, yeah.
Oh, I would be totally okay if you didn't want a weird makeout with me
Yeah,
when
no,
I was
that's
covered
gross.
in blood. If I'm like roughly sweaty, if I'm like it's too hot out sweaty, I can't get her to get too close to me. Let alone I'm soaked in blood and vent dirt.
Yeah, that's gross. I couldn't. Ugh.
Yeah, fine. I'll make you contract hepatitis some other way. This kind of, again, so many little things to the end of to Ghostbusters. This kind of reminds me of the end of Ghostbusters when it's like all said and done and there's just pieces of building everywhere. Oh, man.
I like that all the paper is blank.
Yeah, that's true.
It's supposed to be the bonds or something like that, the money that's falling, right? Like what they were there stealing.
One would assume.
Except for it's all blank.
It's all blank. No, I think that's brilliant. I've never noticed that before. Good for you.
I like that they immediately know who each other is without ever seeing each other.
Well, I think that it would be fine for Reginald VelJohnson to definitely know that that's him. Like I'm pretty sure that there's no way. Like I was like, oh, weird guy who just got pulled out of the building and is limping and covered in blood, but like nobody's arresting. Probably the dude I've been talking to. Like, I feel like these two would become the greatest friends after this, though. Like, I want another Die Hard to be made just to point out, like, he, like, comes to his retirement or something like that. Like, he's just... Like... Speaking of all that, too, they're still talking about... They're on board for doing another Lethal Weapon.
Really?
After all the crap that
he
Mel
wanted
Gibson
to retire
said.
in the first one.
I know. Exactly my point. But it drives me nuts. Like, it makes me wonder what it could possibly be about. Like, you see how bloody gray Mel Gibson is now, and, like, maybe it's about his retirement, and the other guy's already retired, and he's, like, a PI or something like that for extra money. Yeah, can't kill Carl. Uh-oh. See, I knew right away. I remember even, like, as a kid knowing what was going to happen. Like, you could see right away what the next step was going to be. Yeah. He shot him in the shoulder several times to kill him. He never once put one in his chest or head. But yeah, it seemed pretty...
And he didn't even shoot him in the shoulder that had the gun.
Yeah. He was just trying to make him miss when he fired, not... Look at that mustache. Mustaches are weird that don't go all the way up to the top of the lip. There shouldn't be, like, finger space to, like, rub soft skin above your mustache, like, between your nose. It's a good thing that he was there.
Yeah.
You know how LA cops are with, like, young black men driving erratically.
In a limo, no less.
In a limo.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Smash.
There you are.
That's awesome. Those are my feelings too. Who's that? Like, who's that extra? Did that guy just take a picture? I gotta go back and look at that sometime. Like, the guy who was holding the gun, he was like an extra or something, and it looked like he picked, like, he had like a camera and he just like snapped a quick photo, and then he had something in his other hand. Go back and look at that when we're done commenting. Stop Frenching. You've been through a lot. Get home. Shower up. Relax. I'd say take tonight off.
Yeah.
And then send the kids to grandma's house tomorrow.
Or
and
Lupita's.
then spend the entire day just boning hard. Devereaux. Wait, that is a long first name. Or I'm guessing it's Devereaux. It could be Devereaux, the way that they have the thing. I like terrorists. Hans Group.
See? He didn't want them to be known as terrorists, then don't call them terrorists.
Yeah, but again, he didn't do this part. Robert Davi. That's the
Okay, and if you still have the argument that this is not a Christmas movie, yes. This is Christmas music.
Hey, Kate Finlay's son. They almost did it. They almost got her name. They spelled it wrong a lot of ways, but I guess it's about as many ways as Bruce Schultz did. So this movie also brought to me one of my favorite things, which is the bad dubbed like the bad dubbed swearing and stuff like that for TV versions and stuff. And this has my all-time favorite one and one of the first ones I ever heard. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
That's terrible.
Yeah. That one's my favorite. My next favorite is I can't remember what the movie was, but I'm positive it was Daniel Stern who said it. I think it may have been City Slickers. And he says Jesus Christ and it goes cheese and crackers.
It is City Slickers.
I did it, folks.
Yep.
Oh, I love when somebody has a great nickname in their credits. So the dolly grip of this is Glenn Bear Davis.
I didn't even see that.
Oh, man. So, yeah, this was...
Boss Film Corporation.
Yeah. This movie, though, it makes me so... I've seen this movie so many times, and I never tire of it. And I hope that everybody enjoyed it with us. I hope that there's people who are literally watching this on Christmas Day who are like, okay, kids, get your asses to bed early. We're watching Die Hard. We're going to watch Die Hard, and we're going to put on some wow. I'm so tired. I almost said incest commentary.
We're not related that way, honey.
No, we are not. But, yeah. It's just been a long couple of ones. Like, I recorded the mini episode last week, last night. And I was the world's most tired person. So, I'm more tired than when Todd and I did the all-nighters, like, from a few episodes ago. But, that's all good. So, I'm just trying to take through... I'm really having a hard time remembering things in 2. Like, I remember the basic steps of the armed forces who like freed like the military leader and all that kind of stuff, and that it all took place at the airport, obviously, and that he had to like get the lights on so the planes wouldn't crash into the ground and stuff like that. But I'm trying to remember the beats that really like kind of tie the movies all together. Like you always have those kind of things that it makes it a Die Hard movie, and I really am at a loss when thinking about that. Except like Dennis Franz is the new Reginald Val Johnson in that one, even though Reginald Val Johnson is in that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. I thought that was on when we were doing today. We had a little family get together and like decorated Christmas cookies because that's how rad my life is. And
we have a rad life. Don't say that.
It was pretty good. I've said rad way too many times. This is
what
happens.
We're watching an 80s movie.
We're watching an 80s movies and people were doing cocaine within the first few minutes, and then everything's just rad beyond that. But yeah, we were doing... I don't even know what I was talking about now. We were decorating the Christmas cookies. And I don't know what I was saying on that. Neither do you. You weren't even listening.
No, I actually
You're the one who's supposed to pull me back in when I forget what I'm talking about because I'm so ADD.
I never pull you back in. I generally just don't listen to you. I stopped listening.
And on that, so we've probably been hosting 2 different podcasts at the exact same time right now. And that brings us to the end of the credits. So I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
A very Happy New Year. We will be back next week. Well, we'll be back on Friday, so not next week, but we'll be back on Friday with another mini episode. Gonna announce the next movie. It will be a surprise. Todd should be back for that one. I'm expecting he'll be back by then. It will be a surprise to him, whatever I decide, because he is currently at sea. So he doesn't get a vote. He did text me some ideas though, so we'll see. We'll see if I'm nice to him. But I'm looking at some options right now that make me think I might want to do those instead. The burdens of the EP. Alright, in the meantime, you know how to reach us. You can email us at podcast@miscastcommentary.com or go on the website and just go to the contact us portion. Catch us on Twitter at Miscast Podcast. Oh, Carrie's looking that guy up now on IMDb again. You can look that guy up on IMDb and email us or tweet us or whatever. So yeah, Twitter at Miscast Podcast, at Miscast Commentary for Instagram. Yeah, reach out to us as always if there's any movies you want to see in 2018 that make you want to forget about 2017. Oh my god,
he's not even listed in the cast.
Oh, uncredited. But yeah, we hope that we helped end 2017 with a bit of a bang, and hopefully 2018 will be more, well, for lack of a better word, rad. So thank you very much, Carrie, for doing this one with me.
Thank you for having me, babe.
Always. You're very easy to reach. So but yeah, we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
This has been Miscast Commentary with your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray. Executive producer, Joe Finley. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Visit www.miscastcommentary.com for all news related to the podcast. Miscast Commentary is a Miscast Media production.